Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, the mother of a Launceston man who was shot dead and dismembered says she forgives her son's killer. Jack Harrison Vincent Sadler was found guilty of murder by a jury this morning over the horrific 2018 attack.
An embrace outside court after waiting almost 3 years for justice. Not a day goes by where Claudette Bretner doesn't think about her son.
He was amazing. He was funny. He laughed all the time.
24-year-old Jake Anderson Bretner was shot 3 times before being decapitated and dismembered at the hands of a man he once called a friend. Jack Sadler, with the help of his girlfriend Gemma Clark, threw his torso off the sidling before dumping other body parts in wheelie bins across Launceston. Today, in an extraordinary show of strength and courage, Claudette came face to face with her son's killer. Jack, I choose to forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. Also telling the court, my son wasn't rubbish, he was precious and he was priceless. Harrowing victim impact statements were also read out by Jake's sister and fiancé about the profound toll of his murder. Without Jake here, I feel lost, like a piece of me died that night. I'm eternally drowning in misery. And our family has been broken into a million pieces. It took the jury 4.5 hours to unanimously find Sadler guilty of murder. Sadler showed no emotion in the dock as the guilty verdict and victim impact statements were read out to the courtroom. The 12-day trial heard from dozens of witnesses, including Sadler himself, who claimed it was a Victorian drug dealer who pulled the trigger. The jury was also told of Mr. Anderson Bretner's involvement with drugs and rising debt. Claudette says she hopes this is a lesson to others about the evil world of drugs.
He made mistakes and that got him killed. Are you willing to walk down that road that's dark? Then that can happen to you. Think about your families, don't put them in a position that we've been put in. You know, everyone loved Jake and he thought everyone loved him, but look what happened. You know, so if you can make that change, even if it's something small, do it.
Sadler will be sentenced in the Launceston Supreme Court next Friday. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
A drug-taking and thieving police officer has been sacked. Tasmania Police says the 33-year-old male constable from the state's south not only used illicit drugs but also stole from his workplace. He was suspended from duty during the prosecution and has now been dismissed. Tasmania will officially have a new governor, with Professor Kate Warner stepping down after 7 years in the role. Former Federal Court Judge Barbara Baker says she's passionate about supporting women, pushing for an end to family violence at the top of her agenda.
The Premier standing side by side with Tasmania's new royal representative.
I recently received approval from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and today I'm honoured to announce Ms Barbara Baker as Governor-designate for Tasmania.
I look forward to the opportunity to serve and work hard for the people of our state.
The newly appointed 29th Governor coming into the role with an impressive resume, being in the legal profession since 1980. Barbara Baker becoming the first female partner of the law firm Murdoch Clark in 1993 and the first Tasmanian woman appointed as a federal magistrate 15 years later.
I believe that my experiences of interacting with and serving families for many years will assist me in my community role of engaging with and encouraging individuals and organisations.
Advocating for women and tackling family violence at the top of her list.
I hope to raise awareness of the devastating impact of family violence, loss of housing and financial impacts on women and children.
While eager to continue the work with Aboriginal communities done by her predecessor, who is stepping down after being appointed in 2014. Professor Kate Warner's term originally set to end last year, but was extended due to COVID-19, leaving big shoes to fill.
Kate Warner has just been one of the great governors. She's warm and kind and hardworking, and I think brought real intelligence and grace to the role. She'll be very much missed.
Ms Baker will take office next month. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
The Greens have asked Tasmania's Integrity Commission to investigate the Premier's handling of allegations against Adam Brooks during the election. Cassie O'Connor has called for all aspects of the campaign to be examined, including pre-selection and Mr Brooks' resignation.
We don't have all the answers here, but we do know there's a level of disquiet in the Tasmanian community and in the electorate of Braddon about the circumstances surrounding Mr Brooks's resignation.
During the course of the campaign, as I said, there were 2 points of view out there. I'd spoken to Mr Brooks. I could only take him on his word. It was concerning that there were 2 points of view out there.
Mr Brooks has denied all allegations against him. The Gorge Hotel is a step closer, with the Launceston City Council voting to initiate planning scheme amendments and pave the way for the 5-star hotel. Councillors were unanimous in their support, but faced vocal opponents at a meeting today.
The foundation's laid for the Gorge Hotel.
That is all councillors present. That is carried.
Paving the way for the hotel, the Launceston City Council unanimously voting to initiate an amendment to the city's planning scheme at a tense council meeting.
And can they assure the community that no inducement of any kind has been received?
I do take umbrage to the level of vitriol that's thrown at us by speakers today.
More than happy for anybody to come and check my bank accounts.
Susie Kai, owner of the neighbouring Golden Brumby restaurant, made a speech. But having seen the council already vote for the hotel once, she's disappointed but not surprised.
Probably not as disappointed as I was 2 years ago, because 2 years ago I was like, oh, how could you? Do you know what I mean? Where now it's like, yeah, expected, know that's going to happen.
Joe Cromie's JAC group says the recent Fragrance Hotel approval paved the way for this submission. A larger area was taken into account when judging the height of nearby buildings for that development.
If that kind of surrounding area had applied to the Gorge Hotel originally, then it would have been approved.
The specific area plan is now open to public comment for 28 days, before heading to the Tasmanian Planning Commission. If the SAP is approved, the development application for the hotel will be resubmitted. Mr Cromie is a long way from popping the cork on this one just yet. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
The family of a 7-year-old boy who was tragically killed in a boating incident last year is using his legacy to raise money for others. The fundraiser aiming to boost the intensive care unit which looked after Archie Green before he died.
Hugs all round for this tight-knit family, remembering a son and brother more than a year after his death.
He loved life. He didn't love school so much, but he loved his friends. He loved playing with toys. He loved his family. He loved his cousins. He loved his little brother more than anything. So, yeah, good kid.
Archie Green was riding a sea biscuit on the Prosser River at Orford when he collided into rocks after the boat towing him lost control. The 7-year-old sadly died from his injuries. His family now wanting to give back to the Royal Hobart Hospital's paediatric ICU who cared for Archie by raising $20,000 in his name.
We'll be looking at directing these funds to providing the highest possible level of care to quite fortunately the very small number of children who come to hospital this unwell.
The fundraiser set for August 8 held on what would have been his 9th birthday, involving a 100 minutes of exercise challenge and family fun festivities, while promoting the importance of organ donation and Archie's impact on other lives.
Archie donated 5 organs to 5 different people. So he changed or saved 5 lives in some way or another. So we're incredibly proud of it.
It's a very important thing, and it does truly transform lives. These people are very sick. They're dependent on their families for supports, and they go from being sick one day to a couple of weeks later being back to really pretty much normal health.
The Archie 100 also acknowledging emergency services who assisted on that tragic day.
It was chaos, it was mayhem, it was heartbreaking and devastating, but these wonderful women and men tried their best to help us.
A celebration honouring what Archie has left behind.
It's a legacy that, again, we just want to project it out and shout his name from the rooftops, you know, so that's what we're here for.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
The musical representation of Tasmania is the final act announced for this year's Festival of Voices. Local artists warmed up their vocal cords in Hobart with the Tasmanian Songbook Project revealed as the headliner for the iconic event. The 2-hour concert will feature only songs connected to the state, but the final list will remain a mystery.
There's certainly a thread there about Tasmania being home and a grounding place that you always return to, and that makes the artist who they are.
Festival of Voices kicks off on July the 1st. As Tasmania grapples with a hospitality staff shortage, a specialty program is giving job seekers the tools needed to enter the industry. Showing off their skills by serving up lunch, 10 people from migrant and refugee backgrounds are the most recent graduates of a hospitality-ready program. The course teaches everything from food preparation to serving, hygiene and interview skills.
It is like an untapped resources and it will be really good to get some sort of experience, local experience, which will help them in getting their first job in Tasmania.
It's an amazing program. I got a good experience at here. I learned a lot of skills, especially customer service skills and kitchen skills.
The participants will now put their new skills to the test, taking part in a 2-week placement inside a local hospitality venue.
The second Northern Derby of the year will kick off round 7 of the TSL this Friday night at UTAS Stadium. North Launceston held Launceston close for 3 quarters when the sides met on the opening day of the season, but the Bombers' young side ran out of legs, eventually losing by 55 points.
They've got quite an old side, so they're able to hold that for 4 quarters, where on the weekend we had 10 teenagers, so just about that consistency across 4 quarters.
We've lost some experience, but what they've done is brought some younger guys in. They're fit, they're strong and they're organised.
The round will also feature a second derby with Clarence and Lauderdale facing off at Launceston Arena, while the Tigers will host North Hobart. Prospect Hawks juniors will have a clear pathway to senior footy after striking a deal with St Pat's in the NTFA. The 2 clubs are joining forces so Prospect players can stick together once they grow out of under-16s.
They get to under-16s and then there's no clear pathway for them moving forward unless they're obviously good enough to go and progress to Launceston or North Launceston. So this new relationship gives them an opportunity to essentially play football with their friends from when they started Auskick right through to senior football level.
For the longevity of this football club, it's the most important step we've taken for many years.
The clubs will adopt new Guernsey designs as part of their agreement. To Netball, Corana has one of the most unenviable tasks ahead, hitting the road to face the Northern Hawks. Players will be wearing specially designed bibs for the State League's Indigenous round this weekend. Corana is desperate to improve on its last outing against the Hawks, where they lost by 77 points.
So if we can just beat the score that we did last time, maybe keep them less than what they did, then that's a really good indication of how we're going this season.
Also on Saturday, Cavs play Arrows at the Silverdome. Devon hosts Kingston in Ulverston. After a disastrous 2016 Games where he crashed out of the race, Richie Port has been called up for his second Olympics. The Hadspin ace will compete in the 244-kilometre road race, which has Tokyo's Mount Fuji as a backdrop. Port describes riding in the Olympics as a massive career highlight. King Island's Stuart McSwain has led Uganda's long-distance champion Joshua Cheptegei in his bid to break the 3,000 metres world record. As pacemaker, McSwain had to pull back after making too much ground on the Ugandan. His final time was still 13 seconds off the record.
Good evening. Hobart and Burnie reached 15 degrees today, Launceston warmed up to 18 and Devonport was 16. Around Tasmania, 19 was the maximum temperature in St Helens. Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches reached 17, 14 in Grove and Lyoweny was just 7 degrees. A frontal band cleared over the northeast of Tasmania today with patchy low cloud about the west and south. Further out shows high cloud extending from central Australia to a frontal band east of Tasmania. Tomorrow shows an area of high pressure north of Tasmania, directing a west to northwesterly flow over the state, with a cold front approaching the southwest of WA. Westerly winds 20 to 30 knots in the south and mostly 10 to 20 knots elsewhere, tending northwesterly during the day. Seas 1 to 2 metres, reaching 2 to 3 in the west and south. A strong wind warning is current for southern and western coastal waters from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape. A frost warning is current for central North, Midlands and the east coast. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart sunny and 17, Huonville and Campania also sunny. Launceston 16 degrees and sunny, Devonport mostly sunny and Georgetown a top of 14 expected. 15 and partly cloudy in Burnie, cloudy in Strawn and 15 in Wynyard. St Helens and Swansea 16 and sunny and Port Arthur a top of 15 degrees. On Saturday, showers about the southwest and far south and possibly the north, fine elsewhere. Fine apart from possible morning showers about the southwest and far south on Sunday. And more showers on Monday in the north, otherwise fine. Tomorrow mostly sunny in Perth, Melbourne 18 and morning fog, 17 and sunny in Canberra, Darwin 33 and mostly sunny, and a shower or two in Sydney. And it's currently 11 degrees in Hobart and partly cloudy, Launceston mostly clear and 10 and Devonport also mostly clear. And that's all in weather tonight, Kim.
Thank you very much, Letitia. And that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for your company. On behalf of the entire team here at 7TAS, good night.